Hey guys, this is Mr. James from the Kenai Community Library asking you to grab all your drawing supplies because it is time to draw. And today we are going to be drawing a barnyard favorite, the chicken. A chicken is a challenging bird to draw, but I know you guys can handle it, so let's grab all our stuff and let's draw. All right, and to begin our chicken drawing, we want to go ahead and get our paper in a horizontal or side-to-side format to begin our drawing, even though our bird itself is going to be pretty vertical. But let's go ahead and get our paper horizontal. We're going to make this more of a landscape kind of image, and we're going to begin. I'm going to start with some quick gesture sketches, and I'll be using a thin Sharpie marker to do that. You guys at home might want to use just a nice, well-sharpened pencil to do your sketching. I'm only using a Sharpie so you guys could see it with the camera, but it's definitely advisable to use just a pencil to do your quick sketching, and then we'll develop it with more substantial lines. So let's start with the face. Now if we have a middle of our paper right in here, we're going to put the face kind of in this general area and have the swooping body of our rooster come down this way. You know, I'm going to start with the beak here. So I'm going to put a couple little marks, just a little curve there. I hope you guys can see that at home. I'm going to do just and again, I'm doing this fairly fast, knowing that I'm going to refine it with a thicker marker here towards the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and put I put a little curve there, I put a little curve here, and then let me just start to sketch, I think, the head. Maybe we're going to have a little bit of the beak comes over and kind of drops down. So I am just doing some quick sketch work here, just to get the general idea of where my rooster's, what he's going to look like here. And you guys at home can even skip this step and wait till I make it a little bit more substantial before we start to draw too, because I'm kind of just getting placement of things, which artists do. They don't just draw flat with pencil line or substantial line right off the get-go. Usually they do a little bit of sketching. So you can see I have a beak in my sketch. I've got some lines that kind of curve it over, knowing that our rooster is going to have a large kind of red fin up here at the top. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of, again, just sketching here some different components to my rooster, and I'm just going to bring this down just so you guys know kind of what it is that it's going to look like. You can see here already we're starting to get the general shape of a rooster, kind of like that. I think I'm going to go ahead and bring down where the legs would go. Something like here. Again, just kind of quickly sketching, pretend that goes through. Like so. That looks pretty good for quick sketches here. Trying to do this real fast, just like we did with our velociraptor. We did some sketching, and I think that it is important that you guys at home know that artists aren't just jumping into these drawings, that they are doing some quick little sketches here to help get placement. So this is just to help me get placement, and you guys can wait if you'd like and start fresh when I start to add some substantial line, or you can try and do some light sketching with me here, and then we're going to make this more of a permanent, beautiful line here in just a little bit here. That goes all the way over the head. So I'm kind of getting, this is helping me with proportions too. I'm just adding a couple little lines to help me with proportions, being fairly quick here. And even the leg might just help here with some we'll start talking about the feet here in a little bit. Okay, I think I am done with my quick sketch. Can you already see that there is a rooster walking? You can already see the general shape of the rooster, and that probably only took about 2 minutes. So now let's make it more substantial, and let's add some details. So I'm going to go ahead and let's concentrate on the face first and get our face done, and then we're going to work our way down and add some nice line. So I'm going to go back over my loose, what you guys would have done with pencil line, but I'm going to go back over my marker lines here, and I'm going to make this more substantial. A nice curved beak. You guys should be able to see this a little bit easier at home now. And this beak, I'm going to come out a little further here. We've got area right here that comes right over the top of this beak. And if you look real close, the beak comes over here, and then it dives down a little bit. So it's not just straight. It has a little bit of a slope and a slope down. I kind of like the look of that. And then we're going to add a little bit of this reddish rooster kind of skin right here. And I'm going to draw a line going down this way, this way. Do the same thing over on this side, a couple little bumps here. So I've got 2 lines coming down, and this is that skin that that rooster has coming down. And our rooster is going to be a white feathered rooster. And I am just going to add a little bit more lines right here for some details on this. And then we're going to bring that skin down a little bit more right here. These are interesting birds and a little complicated to draw, so if this is slightly frustrating, you can always pause the video and catch up with me. I'm going to put a slope right here, and I'm going to bring this up right about to here. Okay, so we have that skin underneath the beak. Just like that. I think that looks pretty good. Now, let's go ahead and add the fin on the top of our rooster. So I'm going to bring this line up, almost a nice straight line, and I'm going to start to curve these here. It's going to go here. We're going to make this go up a little bit more, almost like a dinosaur kind of spike up here. Then we're going to do another one like this, a little bit more rounded, and another one even higher up. So you can see how they're going small to higher to higher to higher. And then we're going to add a nice large kind of point right here. Offer this to come back further still, and this is going to connect right to the top right here. Isn't that interesting? Look at that. Now we've got a rooster showing right here, and I really like the look of that too. We'll talk about adding some details to that here in just a second. Now, before we do, let's kind of concentrate on our eye a little bit. Now, I'm going to just offer a perimeter around our eye first. So I'm going to just put a couple little marks right here. You can see that I'm kind of going in. I'll try and zoom in on this in my editing of the video so you guys can see this a little bit better. And then I'm going to bring it down a little bit here and up. So that is not a giant eye. We're actually going to be drawing a small eye inside that. But first, let's go ahead and kind of get what would be then the face of my chicken. And right about here, I'm going to bring this up and offer a nice kind of curve. I'm going to make that a little bit. So there is the face of my chicken here. He's going to have a little bit of of a shape going on right in here. And maybe even bring this down to like this. So we've got a lot going on here, and I want you guys to take a look at this here. Again, chickens are a little bit more complicated than our ravens and our eagles that we've drawn. They might be a smaller bird than an eagle, but a lot more complicated to draw. Okay, so we have our beak, we've got our skin on the top of the head, on the bottom of the beak, and now let's add our eyes. And I'm going to switch over to a smaller marker, and I'm going to make my eye go just a nice half circle or half oval going right here. And then I'm going to drop this down and like this. And we've done eyes like this before in Let's Draw. I'm going to go ahead and add a nice little line under that eye. I think that helped right there. That really did help a lot. I'm going to do the same thing at the top of the eye. Just a little bit smaller. And I think that helped too. So inside the eye, and again, I'll try and zoom in on this for you, we're going to add a little circle, and then we're going to add a nice round dark pupil. That circle, of course, is our shiny spot there. And there's our black pupil. I might shrink that little circle. The highlight might be a little too big. There we go. And there's the eye to our rooster. So now what we want to do is go ahead and start to develop the rest of our rooster. And we can do that in a variety of ways. I'm going to take a thick marker here and just kind of put some, I like these lines where they're going, so we're going to add those lines. Right here, I'm going to make the line a little bit thicker so you guys can see it at home. And then I'm going to add a few marks there. I kind of like that. Do the same thing on this side. Right about there. And then I'm going to slope this. I like to use my wrist as a pivot when I'm doing these curves. So I'm just going to pivot my wrist down. Gives me a nice curve here. Just like that. Nice curve. Now we'll go ahead and add some details here. And that's kind of a feather popping out here. We'll talk more about feathers here in just a second. Just got to get our figure all blocked in. I'm following my sketch I did because I like my sketch here. I think that works pretty good. I like how we can pretend that the chest area of our rooster slopes down, goes underneath that leg, and then offers a little bit of texture here. Some softer feathers. Adding a little bit of some marks here, if you guys can follow along with that. And then I'm going to go ahead, add some marks there. Okay, we're getting there. Let's go ahead and finish the body, and then we will attack those legs. So I'm going to just follow my line there. I'm going to add a few more little marks here. And then I'm going to bring this down because the feathers change right here on the back side. They look a little bit straighter. So we're going to add some lines right here. I think that helped just adding those little bit of lines. We're going to add the wing now too. And the wing, first I want to just bring over right in here, right on the curve of this. I'm just going to bring a few lines over, and that's going to help us here in a little bit. And I'm going to offer right above this feather here, I'm going to bring a line that goes down like this. I'm just going to make it bold right there. Hopefully that's in the right spot. And this is going to be the edge of that little wing of our rooster. There is, I'm going to bring it all the way over to here and bring it up like this. And there's the wing of our rooster right there. See if you guys can get that shape right. And remember, see how low it is. It's fairly close to this feather, and a straight up is where I offer that curve to start with there. I'm going to put another little mark right here. It's kind of a muscle of the leg. Put another mark right there. Okay, so we've got some good sections here of our rooster, and I think it looks like a rooster. Now let's add our back tail feathers and our foot. I'm going to put a little curve right here. Just that kind of more softer, feathery look right here at the connection of the feathers, and then we'll make them go up, maybe come out a little bit. And we're just going to add some nice big feathers in here. There's one feather. We'll add another one right here. It's going to be a little shorter than that one. And we're going to add another feather. I'm just kind of putting a couple, it's a little bit of a shape right here. I kind of like that shape. And I'm going to bring that one down. I'll bring another feather up. And then another feather over here. And another feather right here. All the way over. Look at all those feathers there. And then I'm going to bring some of these feathers here. We want some of these feathers to really pop out too. And I'm going to bring those over. Just like that. I kind of like the look of that. And a few right here as well. So I'm going to offer one feather to pop over right here. And one feather right here. It's going to have a few little marks here to this feather. Just so people can tell the shape of that feather there popping over. And we're going to just throw in just a little curvature here. A little curvature there. Look at all these feathers. I love it. So now I can connect where these go. I'm going to connect this here. I'm going to connect this one here. This one connects right there. On this one, I'm gonna bring one feather to just kind of throw a little curveball on this one. I'm going to bring one feather over, all the way down, and bring one feather up like this. Just one little feather there, just to spice it up with a little something different. I'm going to put a line down the middle of that one. I think I'm going to do a line down the middle of this one. And then this feather we'll put, I'm going to put this one in front of that one. And then we can add those lines. I kind of like the look of those lines going all the way up to there. We're going to add a line going all the way up to there. A line here. A line going up there. And a line going up there. And I really like the look of those lines because I think that already helped. Now if we really want to offer some details, we can add lines going this way too. Just to make it look a little bit more feather-like. I might do a few right here. We can do that on this side too. Almost like drawing a leaf a little bit. Just adding a little bit of texture to our simple rooster here. This one could be kind of fun. Just adding some lines. Now we're not going to draw every feather. We're going to imply details. But I do like the look of that, so I'm going to put a few more right here. A few more lines right here. I think that looks pretty nice. I might leave those just like that. So to imply feathers, I'm going to just kind of bring, and you can just add lines like this. Just a few lines will help to imply feathers. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I'm just going to add a line right here. We can even add lines like this. See how they're just kind of curved lines a little bit? Like this. And I think that helps. That adds details, and that looks really nice. We can do the same thing of kind of the shape of the feathers coming down off the neck. Could go kind of like this. Just to add texture. We're not drawing every feather, but just some feathers. I'll do the same down here underneath. Just like that. And a couple little lines right here I don't think hurts. That definitely is looking like a rooster. So let's get down to our feet and tackle some of this. So I like these lines I have here. Now, one thing to remember is a rooster or a chicken, really, if you guys know your dinosaurs, they have those kind of dinosaur, theropod, T-Rex kind of feet. So we're going to try and draw those. So here is the leg. Now, not much thinner than that. I'm going to just put a little toe of our rooster coming down right here. Oh, I have just enough room, and a little point right here so you can see a straight line, a little edge, and you can tell that this is not exactly straight going down. And now I'm going to add the center toe. Make it pretty long, maybe all the way to there. I'm going to add that center toe. Now, one thing that's kind of cool about that is they're kind of a little bit webbed. Not like a duck webbed, but still a little bit webbed. And then we're going to add that last toe back here. I want to make it go right about to there and then over. So you can tell that that middle toe there is the longest there. We'll add some details to that here in just a second. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring down this back leg right here, because he's walking. He's walking to the left, and we want to make sure this leg looks like he's walking. But I'm going to stop it up here higher because this leg is closer, so it's going to appear a little bit larger and a little bit lower on our page. This one's further back, so it's going to appear smaller and a little higher on our page. So I'm going to just bring, and I'm going to bend that toe if I'm able to do it, and I'm going to bring it like this. I'm tackling that middle toe, and it's going to come right over there, right behind that leg. Now I'm going to do another toe that looks kind of bent. So it's going to be right underneath and then up. It's going to have this little kind of nub sticking out back here. It helps balance our chicken like this. And then I'm going to bring that third toe back here. And it's going to pop out just a little bit back in here. So there's our chicken walking. He might have a little point right here too on his foot. Okay, so we have our bird. We've got kind of in place here. Let's add a few more details, and we're almost ready to sign this thing. So one thing I want to do is I'm going to switch to just a little bit thinner an edge here. And there's so many fun little details. Whoops, I'm going to switch to my real small one. So many fun details that we can add. One of which is we've talked about adding shine. So I'm just going to add a little line on my beak to offer a little shine just by adding a line that helps. And then we're just going to imply nice little shadows just by adding little lines on each side of our reddish kind of skin right here that's on the top of my rooster's head. So we're just going to add those little lines. I don't know if you guys can see those at home, but from where I'm at, it really does help quite a bit to add these little texture lines. We're going to do the same thing. I think just to darken some areas up, you may want to darken down here. And we can even, since I'm using pen, I'm going to just shade using some hatch mark lines. But I want a little shadow right in here. I could add a little bit of shadow down here. I think that helped. I think other areas that could have shadow would be right in here, so I'm going to switch over. You know, I'm going to actually keep using this pen because I think we did that with the Velociraptor, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm just going to shade with some hatch marky lines right here. And I'm going to do the same thing all down in here. Because that would be a little bit in shadow, and it's going to come down. We'll leave that feather untouched, but we are going to shadow a little bit under this wing. The nice thing about these shadows is I think it does help to make it look more like feathers too. Offer a little shadow here, maybe a little shadow here, right there. And I definitely think we need to add some shadow down here. Why are our shadows down at the bottom of our bird? It's a great question, Mr. James, because the sun is shining at the top, so it's going to cast shadows on this bottom part right here. Let's keep doing that. You like how I said my own question was a good question? So let's go ahead and add more shadows here. And we're almost done with our chicken drawing today. I'm going to add a few more shadows here. It's kind of nice, kind of different, but fun. I like it. I like those marks there. We can add a few more shadows in here. Like that. Oh, and for our feet, we can add a little bit of texture here just by adding little marks. Almost like reptilian dinosaur legs. We're just adding these little, which I think those help quite a bit here. I might even add a little bit of shadow right here. I'm going to do the same thing on this one because I like the look of those here for our drawing. I think for this one, I do want to add some shadow on this side too here. That looks pretty good. Great. Now the last step is really just to add some shadow to our chicken to make sure he's grounded. So I'm going to add a little bit of darks right here on the bottom of his foot. Maybe make it look like he's walking in a barnyard here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of texture here. Nice little shadows. That kind of just grounds our character. Maybe some birdseed down here. Things like that. All right, you guys did fantastic today. Now what I might suggest is if you want to add a background, you can add maybe a fence, maybe some kind of barnyard gate or a chicken coop or other chickens in there. So whatever you guys would like to add to the background I think would be fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and sign my piece discreetly here. And I put the year. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. It was a lot of fun drawing with a chicken with you guys today. Take care. Bye.